Awesome. I hope you guys are doing good. So, we are live over here. And so, today we will be discussing about resources regarding learning French. If you're someone who is a beginner right now, what should you do? Okay, how should you learn French if you're just like a complete beginner? Okay, so what we're going to discuss is we're going to discuss step by step laid out resources so that you're able to get in detail explanation about it. If you don't know me, my name is Vyom Sharma. I'm someone who cleared TEF Canada exam and got my PR through learning French. So yeah, I know, I do know a bit about how to learn French, and especially how to learn French in the least amount of time possible. So this live is going to be a very important live for you, because we are going to discuss step by step progression. So put it in the chat box if you guys are over here. Put it in the chat box. What are you currently studying in French, or have you really started learning French or not? Okay, so I'm just going to wait for more people to join so that we are able to start this discussion with more efficiency. So let's wait some time over here. Perfect. So yeah, I do see enough people. Awesome. Let's start a discussion. So yeah, put it in the chat. Okay, put it in the chat. What resources have you been using, or have you started learning French yet or not? If you haven't started learning French, just type N. If you have, type Y. Okay. So yes, let's get started. So let me first of all share a screen with you guys. Perfect. Over here, you guys will be able to see a different screen through which we will be mm, discussing about our overall structure. Oh, I do see replies now. That means that there's a little bit lag in terms of live, which is completely fine. So I'll be able to that's not a problem. I'll be able to understand why there is a little bit of lag. But anyway, perfect. So if you're someone who is a complete beginner, okay, first let's understand how much time are you going to be able to give to learn French. Okay, so if you are someone who is currently in Canada, and if you are learning French for permanent residency, for PR, then there are either two scenarios. Okay, either you are on study permit, okay, or you are on work permit. Okay, now if you are on study permit, what will happen is, obviously, because you will be working full time as well. Okay, not full time, you'll be working part time, but you'll be studying as well, through which it really becomes difficult to learn French at that time. But still, I will be posting more. There is going to be one more video where I've explained one of my students. He was on study permit, and despite being on study permit, he was able to complete A1 and A2 levels very quickly. So that is to come there very soon. Yes, study, work, and then we also have someone who is currently doing it from India. Okay, obviously, there are people who are doing it from their home country, not only from India, but if anyone lives in other country, they're doing it from home country. I'm messing up my spelling. Or they are either on visitor visa, or whatever the case is. Okay, we are not going to talk too much in detail about, like, this is the usual three scenarios. So whatever the case is, you are learning French to get permanent residency in Canada. Now, if you are at home, or if you are on work permit, I'm just going to take the scenario that you are able to give enough time into learning the language daily. Okay, so whatever the case is, the question first of all comes, how much time you should be giving so that you are able to learn French as soon as possible. Okay, so over here I'm going to discuss about the time investment. Okay, now if you're someone who would like to clear the TEF Canada exam, right, that's the exam for permanent residency. If you are if you're planning to clear your TEF Canada exam, let's say in about 1 to 1.5 year, okay, then it is going to take about 2 to 3 hours of daily study. Okay, 2 to 3 hours of daily study is required if you want to do it anywhere between 1 to 1.5 years. Now that also depends on whether you are doing self study or whether you are doing coaching. If you are taking a proper coaching, obviously that will be lesser than that. But still, today I'm going to talk about self study, because I know you guys have been studying French. So I'm going to talk about how to do self study. All right, so this is going to be a scenario about 2 to 3 hours. But if you want to do it earlier, if you want to do it in within 10 to 12 months. Okay, this is a generic time frame. Okay, this is a generic time frame. I'm not going to, like, it's not like, now it can depend upon people as well. Some people have more affinity with the language, they are able to understand things better, but some people have less affinity, it takes more time for them to understand the language. So overall it is going to take about for 10 to 12, if you want to clear TEF Canada exam in 10 to 12 months, it will take about 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours of daily time investment. Okay, and that is through self study. Obviously self study, it's less efficient, we have to figure out everything by ourselves, so things are a little bit more difficult. Okay, but if you want to do it lesser than 10 months, okay, less than 10 months is very, very tricky. I'll be very honest. Okay, less than 10 months is very, very tricky. If you're doing it through self study, you do need to give 6+ hours on daily basis. Even with that, there is less chance. Okay, but anyway, so reason I'm saying this is so that we are able to have a proper expectation set up, okay, before starting our French learning journey. Definitely it's going to be difficult, but this is something which is worth it at the end of the, at the end of the day. Once you would have cleared your TEF kind of exam, or once you would have got enough score, or once you would have learned the language, your overall life expands. Okay, your career expands, your opportunities expand. So that is why it's very important to not to look at French just transactionally, but to actually see it as a lifelong skill. Okay, so yeah, without any further ado, let's discuss what to do and how to start. Perfect. So if you're a complete beginner, okay, if you're a complete beginner, first thing I would say, you don't need to go anywhere. What you can do is you can do two things. Either you can go onto my YouTube, okay, or you can go to my website, which is Frenchify with Vyom. Over there, you will be able to sign up for. If you go into free learning resources, okay, onto my website, if you go onto free learning resources, you will be able to go on to that and sign up for a free beginner program. Okay, that will give you a proper understanding on how language must be approached if you're a beginner, if you're a complete beginner. Okay, and a lot of people, those who enrolled in that free beginner program, have actually told me that only through that, even though it was a free beginner program, even through that they were able to learn a lot more than they would actually learn somewhere else in the actual A1 level. So that's the thing, it has tons of information, it will be very useful for you, it will set a proper pathway for you to follow and then move forward accordingly. Okay, so that's going to be very useful. But first, let's talk about YouTube, what to do on YouTube. So let me share one screen with you guys. I'm going to share a different screen. Awesome. So Paridhi says, I'm not afraid, as if we take more time to learn, the draws will I am more afraid. Oh, okay. She says, I'm more afraid, as if we take more time to learn, the draws will skyrocket. I mean, see, this is something, this is speculation. Okay, we don't really know. We don't. Firstly, draws won't skyrocket. Why? Because it has been recently that the French has been coming into play, and even if you take 1 year to learn, it's not only you who is taking 1 year to learn. Different other people, those who got excited about French, they are also going to take about 10 to 12 months. So it's still in your hands, but this is the best time to start. The later we are with this, the lesser the chances you will have of getting your profile selected. But now there is one more thing that I want to touch on, just because of this comment, is that when we look at the future plans, okay, and the future goals of immigration, and what are the numbers in terms of upcoming few years, the quota for French is only increasing. Okay, it's not decreasing, it's increasing by 4 to 5,000 per year. That means over the time they are going to focus more on French, not less. Okay, so that is very important to understand. We usually go into this, and I completely understand, like, it's a very valid question, and it's a very valid um, you can say question in your brain, that what if I've been studying French, 10 to 12 months has passed, and now the scores are high for French as well. Well, firstly, even when we talk about year to year projectile for French, it's going to increase. And secondly, if you think this negative and if you think this much critically, then nothing can happen. Okay, not I mean, we have this opportunity, to learn French, okay, but if you don't want to start French just because you think that French scores will skyrocket as well, then I mean there is no hope. Okay, then there is no hope. Then I would recommend not even starting it. So that's what I want to mention, is that it's very important to be positive about it, not to be negative about it. Okay, because the upcoming trend is otherwise. Okay, it's more promotional, not less. Okay, so I hope you understood this, Paridi. Awesome. Perfect. Now let's where was I? Yeah, I was about to share one a different tab. There we go. Mm, all right. So if you go to my YouTube channel, so right now you are able to see, what you're able to see is just my front page. This is my own book. But yeah, if you go over here and if you go on to playlist, okay, now if you're a complete beginner, if you haven't started learning French at all, and if you would like to go on, if you would like to start learning the language, just give me a second. Am I audible and visible to everyone? You guys let me know. Hmm. Yeah, now I'm good. Okay, perfect. I don't know what happened instantly, but now I think it should be good. I see that there the screen was invisible. Let me share the screen again and let's see what happens now. Perfect. I hope now it is now it's visible. Awesome. Perfect. So if you go on to my YouTube channel over here, what you will be able to see is there are different tabs. Okay, all you have to do is go on to this playlist tab. Okay, and you have to go onto this first playlist. Like obviously these are my personal playlists, that's why you won't be able to see this, but if you go onto this playlist, my French no, not this one, not this one, this is my French learning journey. But if you go over here, French learning series from beginner to B2 plus, and if you go on to view full playlist, you will be able to start learning French right from over here. This is the perfect resource for anyone, okay, any beginner who would like to start learning the language. And if you feel stuck, what to do, what not to do, how to begin, well, this is the resource, this is the playlist for you. Okay, so if you're a beginner, you should start learning French like this. Obviously you start from first video and on regular basis. Okay, take it as, take this particular playlist as your course, as your online course, as your um, you know as your step-by-step structure to learn the language. Okay, first 2 to 3 videos will tell you what resources to use. Okay, and then your actual French learning will start from episode number 1, which is French basics for beginners, alphabets, and how to introduce yourself, etc. Okay, so very useful. And then episode 2, episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so forth. Okay, this will actually help you understand. Okay, so I'm just going to stop sharing the screen for a while. This will actually help you understand what are the important components in French to focus on when you're a complete beginner. Okay, something which everyone struggles. Very big mistake that a beginner makes is that they, instead of because they don't know where to focus, what to focus and what not to focus, what they do is they start learning vocabulary. Okay, and they start learning vocabulary and they start learning just phrases and they start memorizing it to be able to have this hope that I will be able to learn the language, but it does not work that way. Okay, what what structure I follow, what learning methodology I follow is that we first of all have to hit on the grammar. Why we have to hit on the grammar is because we need to it's very important for us to first of all understand the structurization of the language, like how the language functions, and then only we will be able to understand vocabulary, and not only just understand the vocabulary but also apply the vocabulary in with the grammar to create different phrases and sentences. Okay, so it's a whole methodology, so you don't have to worry too much about why it works, it just works. So you have to believe me and start learning the grammar, because it was something that I did when I was learning the language. How I was able to do it in less than 12 months was because there was a very specific approach that I followed. Okay, I was clueless when I started. I was clueless. I gave hundreds of hours just into understanding how the language works and how the basics works. Okay, not even advanced level stuff, just basics. But you don't have to figure that out, because I have already figured that out, and all you have to do is just follow those steps. Okay, so will be very important. I'm just going to take some questions. If you have any, you can put it down in the chat box as well. Okay, so Khushi says, thank you for sharing your journey. Thank you so much, Khushi. And I hope you start learning French with that as well. How to connect with you to discuss more about TEF. Okay. So if you would like to connect with me, let me share one link with you where I will be able to direct you to do a meeting with a team so that you're able to book a consultation and then move forward accordingly. So just give me a quick second. Book a meeting. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is the one, and yeah, but I would recommend not open right now. You can open it later afterwards as well. Otherwise, you will miss on the information that we are discussing. So yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, any other questions? If you guys have any other questions, you guys can let me know. Okay, so this is how to start from my YouTube channel to start learning French to understand all the concepts. Okay, and then talking about an online free beginner program. Okay, if you see, if we come back to mind map, you will see that it's not only YouTube. Okay, YouTube is what the playlist that we discussed about today. But with that, what you can do is you can go onto my website, you can go onto free learning resources, which will actually be in let me tell you properly where it is. If you go on to courses, but in courses, if you go on to free learning resources, so this will connect over here. Okay, then you will be able to go to free beginner program to register for it. And let me actually show you how the free beginner program looks like. Awesome. So this is going to be my website. If you come on to courses over here, you will see free learning resources, and you just have to enroll. Now I am I am already a participant of my own course, so thank God that was the case. But yeah, you will be able to start it, and this is a structure which will help you understand how to progress in the language. Okay, not similar to YouTube. This is a little bit more in detail, and this is actually a unit 1 of my whole A1 level program. Okay, so this is going to be very useful for you. You will be able to learn not only the grammar, but a lot of pronunciation rules, as well as a lot of vocabulary, and then reading practices. There are reading practices specific to the grammar that we are doing, and listening and writing practices and stuff. So will be very useful for you. Okay, so make sure to sign up for this as well. It's completely free. So yeah, okay, so that's going to be the second resource. Now with these resources, let me share my screen again. Let's go back to EndNote. If we are using either of these two resources, I would recommend using YouTube as the main playlist, and then using this free beginner program as a revision, and to do extra worksheets and to practice more of those concepts. Okay, but with that, what we are also supposed to do is we are also supposed to use this book called Complete French Grammar All in One. Okay, now I'm not sponsored. Okay, I'm not sponsored by this book. I just happen to love this book. Why? Because when I was learning French, I used the same book to understand the overall language, understand the grammar and stuff. Okay, so Complete French Grammar All in One, a very good book. Okay, in my course curriculum as well for A1, A2, B1, and like all the students, I follow this book mainly for students to be able to practice and do their different worksheets. But yeah, for you, what you should do is, let's say you are watching any particular lecture on YouTube, you open that same topic in Complete French Grammar to practice its back exercise. Straight and simple. Okay, you can also open the same chapter in that book to be able to read that chapter and see the concept by yourself. But that would be like an overkill. You don't need to do that much because you're already watching my lectures. But yeah, you can do that as well. But the main thing will be to do the back exercise. Okay, so this is how we will go with this. This will help you understand the grammar. Okay, but now with the grammar, what about the vocabulary? Okay, for vocabulary, we will have this book. I would recommend purchasing it from Amazon. Okay, Edito A1. Now, don't start Edito A1 right when you start learning the language. Okay, let's say once you have understood some language, once you have understood what is être, what is avoir, once you know some stuff, then it's a good time to move on to this book, Edito A1. Okay, so I would say once you have watched 15 to 20 videos, once or like 15 to 17 videos on my um on my playlist on YouTube, like again it depends on you when you feel comfortable, but I'm just generally saying 12 to 15 or 12 to 17 videos, then that will be a good time to start using this book, Edito A1. All right, now what is this book for? To learn the vocabulary, but specifically what we are doing from this book is only reading and listening. Okay, so this is how you start learning the vocabulary, through reading and listening. Right, and I'm also going to show you on Amazon, I'm going to show you which book to buy, because there is going to be confusions on that as well. But before than that, let me go to some questions. Let me take some questions to be able to answer them. How to effectively utilize study time? So switch on your mobile phones. Okay, switch on your mobile phone. Switch on YouTube. I know this is counterproductive as we are currently on YouTube, but switch on mobile phones. Switch off mobile phones. All the notifications. Switch off YouTube. When it comes to how to efficiently utilize study time, see, all the time that you're giving to French in any way is a used time. It's not a waste of time. It's a useful time, because in one way or the another, if you are connected with the language, you are still improving the language. Okay, there is no there is no such thing as best time efficiency to learn the language. Okay, sometimes in 3 hours we learn a lot, sometimes in 3 hours we learn a little bit less, or we don't feel like we learned a lot, but that does not mean that those 3 hours were not useful. Okay, every time is each and every time is useful as long as you are connected with the language. But important thing to understand is, stop using the Instagram, uninstall it. We don't need to use Instagram. YouTube, what I do for YouTube is I have a specific extension called let me see what's the name of that extension. Yeah, it's called Unhook. Okay, I use a specific extension called Unhook. If you would like to stop all the feed on YouTube, okay, if I show you what happens with me, I'm just going to show you like a quick demo on how my YouTube feed looks like. Okay, once I open the YouTube, it just looks like this. It's blank. Okay, completely blank. Why it is blank and why I want to keep it blank is because I so that I don't have the temptation to open any video. Oh, this new video came up. Oh, this is the new immigration update. This is the new this new that. Okay, nothing like that is happening. I'm only opening YouTube to search for something which I actively want to search. Okay, so that's why I recommend use this extension. This is Unhook. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are able to see the extension or not. No, but let me share the. It's not possible to share this, but yeah, I've put the name over here, Unhook. You will be able to use that extension to block off all the recommendations on YouTube. Okay, even if you open any specific video on the side as well, there will be no recommendation. So it's only the video that you want to watch, YouTube will show it to you. Okay, so a very good a very good extension to use specifically for YouTube. But for Instagram as well, see, please uninstall your Instagram. Okay, if you open your screen time, there is the answer for you. I don't need to explain what's going on. Okay, so please uninstall your Instagram. And the next question is, while studying, how to effectively use study while studying? Okay, because I find myself going into the rabbit hole of learning vocabulary, understanding sentence while reading, and barely finishing a page while studying. No, that's okay. See, the thing is, even if you're not able to finish a page while studying, that's completely fine, because currently you are slow in the language comprehension. And how do we get fast in the language comprehension is by spending more time with it. Whether it's taking you 1 hour per page, whether it's taking you 3 hours per page, the reason it's taking you more time is because the comprehension is still needed to be built. Okay, it's not there yet. Believe me when I say this, when I was doing Edito A1 and Edito A2, each page used to take me 3-4 hours, or sometimes one page took me 2 days to properly understand and comprehend and learn all the vocabulary. But then I switched my approach. Then what I started doing, see, firstly, what mistake I was making is, I was thinking that all the vocabulary that I see, I need to learn it. That's not true. Because once you move forward, once your reading comprehension and reading speed builds up little by little, the vocabulary gets absorbed in your brain, in your subconscious passively. Okay, we don't have to actively acquire each and every vocabulary word. So please don't go into this loophole. We have to actively stop ourselves not learning the vocabulary. Okay, make sure to note it down, but don't learn it while you see the new vocabulary. That's not a good way to to use your time. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. Okay, and then we have a question on what we should focus more on, vocabulary or grammar. We should focus more on grammar. If you are a beginner, now you said you are intermediate level. I mean, if you're an intermediate level, your grammar should have been finished by now. Okay, so that's very important to know. If you're an intermediate level, your almost all the grammar should be finished, and now your focus should be on more reading and listening to acquire as much vocabulary as you can through passive consumption. Okay, so that's going to be my recommendation. And then I'm just going to take some other good ones. Okay, I think for now let's park the questions aside. Let me continue the structure that we were talking about over here. Okay, so this is how you will be learning the vocabulary with the grammar. But now please understand, our main focus is still grammar right now. Okay, that means your 80% of the time should be going to just understanding all the grammar, and then your 20% of the time should go to doing edito. Or see, you don't have to use edito even. I'll be very honest, this is something that I used. Okay, you don't have to use edito even. I loved it, I loved using it, that's why I used it. You can use saison as well. Like, there are different books for learning vocabulary and reading and listening. You can use saison, you can use Cosmopoly. There are other different resources as well. This is what I recommend and what I prefer. Okay, so that's why what I would say regarding that. Then yes, okay, so this is usually fine. Okay, this will help you set up a proper base as a beginner. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now with this there is one more thing. Let me explain what it will be. Yeah, let's talk about some reading and listening resources apart from Edito A1. Okay, so I'm going to share a different tab with you. Perfect. Now, if you're someone who would like to improve your listening at a beginner level, all you need to do is you go to this YouTube channel, Listen EF. I personally find it one of the best YouTube channels to start listening to the stories and slowly and steadily build the comprehension of the language. Now it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult as a beginner to do the listening practice. For the first 4 to 5 months, you are just going to feel, you're just going to feel that, that when you are studying the language, you're able to understand it, but when you listen to it, you are able to comprehend nothing. Okay, it's going to happen for the most duration of your language learning journey. Believe me when I say this. First 4 to 5 months, 6 months, I was lost into listening. I was like, I'm not really able to understand anything what's going on. But it took me time, so please don't be impatient about it. Whatever you're feeling during your listening practice, it's very valid. I used to face the same. It's just a matter of continuous and regular practice. It's a tedious work. It's a very tedious work, but there is a click that happens after 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Okay, it takes time for that click to happen, but once that happen, you are able to start understanding the listening component as well. Okay, but this is going to be the resource where you start. Okay, so you start watching all these videos would be a good use of your time. Now, they don't only show you the transcript in French but also in English. Okay, so you can pause the video, you can properly comprehend what they have said, and you are able to you'll be able to repeat one video multiple number of times, one story multiple number of times to comprehend it. Apart from it, you can also use one another channel, which is French Facile. Okay, French Facile. Oh, learning French. Okay, this is not learning French. French Facile. Okay, so you go over there, you will be able to listen to these vlogs and these podcasts if you're a beginner. Okay, this is also very useful as a beginner at around A1 A2 level. Okay, oh, you guys are not able to see anything. How? Why it's going on like that? What about now? Are you guys able to see that now? That's weird. YouTube live is weird sometimes. Now we can. Okay. Just showed up. Okay, so if it just showed up, just to let you know again, yeah, this is the French Facile channel that I was talking about. Okay, and then I'm also going to open a different channel that I was talking about. It was what? It was Listen EF. This tab instead. This one. Now I hope you guys are able to see this one as well. This is the first channel. If you guys are asking which is the first channel, this is the first channel. Listen EF. All right. So yeah, these are going to be your listening resources. Now when we talk about reading, now for reading specifically, you don't have to follow any, you know what, I'm just going to write all the channel names over here. Listen EF and French Facile. All right, for reading, what I would recommend is stick to Edito A1 for reading. Okay, there are going to be reading practices in your in the book. So stick to those. Okay, reading practices are called compréhension orale. Okay, compréhension orale. Make sure to follow those. I'm going to put that in the chat box. Sorry, compréhension écrite. It's not compréhension orale, it's compréhension écrite. Compréhension orale is listening. So let me go to a different tab. There we go. Let me go to this. Reading is a compréhension écrite. And listening is compréhension orale. When you go to Edito, like, you know, I know you won't be able to understand right now what I'm writing, but once you go to Edito, all the compréhension écrite practices are reading and all the compréhension orale practices are listening. Now let's discuss which Edito A1 book to buy. Okay, so let me open that real quick so that you guys are able to understand in detail which one to buy. Awesome. So I hope you guys are able to see this over here. Yeah, perfect. So it's going to be Edito. Let me open it for you. Two editions. Okay, firstly, which, you know, like overall what we need to buy is Méthode de Français, Edito Méthode de Français. So always make sure to get the one where Méthode de Français, like this thing, this is written. Okay, so make sure to get that one. But now even for Méthode de Français, there are going to be two editions. I hope everyone is able to see the screen now. Type yes in the chat box. Okay, but now there is going to be this version of book as well. Okay, this is actually an older one. Okay, older one. So yeah, what I would recommend is you purchase a newer one, because that will obviously be a version. All the audios you're able to find it in the book by just scanning the QR code. Okay, so this is what I recommend. This is what will get you started. Okay, so yeah, that's my recommendation for the books. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. This is what will get you started. So make sure to start, and I'm just going to take some questions at the end before seeing you guys off, because I do have to leave in about 5 to 10 minutes. So if there are any questions, you guys let me know so that I'm able to answer those questions for you. I'm just going to go on to some previous questions so that I'm able to cover everyone. Any thoughts on using LinkQ? Yes, I've used LinkQ. I don't prefer, it's not like I don't prefer, but I don't prefer that as a main resource to learn the language. The main resource should still be a theoretical way to learn the language, which is through learning the grammar. Okay, that will help you understand the language structure in detail. And then once you go on to using the LinkQ, that is useful to learn vocabulary through constant consumption. Okay, so yeah, I mean, here and there you can use it for reading and listening, but not a main resource. Okay, because we do need a structurized level by level progression, which I think LinkQ does not really offers that. So that's why, again, but it's just my personal anecdote. If you enjoy it, for sure, go ahead with it. Okay. And then how to tackle conjugations of verbs when preparing for the exam. How did you prepare for it? See, first of all, you have to understand this, that verbs, that conjugating verbs. Now, let me tell you how I tackled the conjugation of verbs. I wasted a little bit too much time into memorizing the verb conjugation. So what I would recommend you is, if you're someone who is getting overwhelmed with verb conjugations, stop memorizing it. Just pick some 40 to 50 most common verbs, memorize them for sure. Okay, memorize its conjugation and memorize the meaning for it. But rest of them, let them come to you naturally through the reading, listening, and overall vocabulary consumption. Okay, so that is what I would recommend, because otherwise we waste a little bit too much time into the memorization. Because memorization, you will be able to learn and memorize the verb for that day or 2 days after, but after 7 days or 10 days you will forget it. Okay, so that's why what I recommend is kind of like letting that come to you naturally over the progression of time. Awesome. Any other questions? Sir, I'm preparing for DELF A1. Free content in YouTube is fine, or do I join any paid course? See, firstly, my paid courses are not for DELF, so it might not really be the exact replica of what you're looking for. But if the free content is working for you, I think it should be fine. Yeah, for DELF A1 it should be fine. But with that, what I would also recommend you is implementing a vocabulary book to learn the vocabulary. Okay, so yeah, it should be fine. I don't think so you would need any paid course for DELF A1. For TEF specific preparation, then definitely we need it. But for DELF, I think you should be good by yourself. Awesome. Any other questions on what we should focus more? Oh, this is done. So the question is how to tech. No, Sanjay Kumar asked this question. I'm at A2 level now. I feel less confident in speaking the language at this level. How do I improve? Well, first of all, you have to complete the whole syllabus. Okay, that means you have to complete the grammar. You have to understand the grammar. Stop. Let's not think about this level by level. Okay, I'm at A2 level, and how do I improve? The reason you haven't improved a lot more in speaking right now is because you are at A2 level. Okay, once you go on to B1 level, then slowly you will build that confidence in speaking. But what I would recommend you, if you want to be more proactive, like I would recommend you being more proactive and completing the syllabus as soon as you can. That means complete the grammar, like learn all the grammar and understand all the grammar of French as soon as you can, and then start practicing monologues by yourself. Okay, that is going to be a very useful thing to do to improve your overall confidence in speaking. Let me show you what do I mean by this. Okay, so if I share back one more screen, I'll show you this, that if you go onto my YouTube channel, but if you just go over here and if you go to oldest, okay, over here, oldest, if you click on oldest, you will see that what I used to do like 2 years back, this was when I was actually prepping for TEF Canada. I used to just take a particular topic, any random topic. I hope you guys are able to see the screen. Okay. I used to take any random topic and I used to just speak on it. Okay. I used to pick a topic which I enjoyed a lot, or which I usually enjoy speaking about. So you see over here some philosophy stuff, some ancient philosophy stuff there, and just some general health and fitness related stuff was there. So I used to pick a topic. I used to kind of like prepare a monologue and speak in camera. Okay, that's how I improved my speaking for the most part. Okay, you can use this approach too to improve, but the only drawback about this is you won't be able to understand and analyze yourself in terms of whether you are speaking right grammar and whether your vocabulary, sorry, not vocabulary, whether your pronunciation is correct or not. Okay, so there is this drawback as well. Then you will properly need to have a specific coaching to help you with that. At that time you will be able to reach out to me. Okay, so you can do that. In how many months we can clear TEF Canada exam? Not any time less than 9 months. Okay, if you are a complete beginner, not any time less than 9 months, unless you're able to study 14-15 hours on daily basis. But 9 to 12 months if you are studying between 3 to 4 hours on, like 3 to 5. Okay, 3 to 5 or 6 hours on daily basis. Again, it's a spectrum, so we cannot just say ki, oh, like you can do it in 10 months. I mean, it depends on how much time you are putting. Okay, so that's the thing. So yeah, I think that's all for today. I believe something which was very important for all the beginners to know, to understand. Now, if you're someone who would like to, follow me on Instagram, I'm just going to leave my Instagram handle over here so that you're able to stay updated. See, firstly, I don't really recommend. No, I'm not going to put my Instagram. Okay, I'm not going to put my Instagram because then you guys won't study. Okay, just follow me on YouTube. Don't worry about Instagram. Okay, please make sure to study. Stop, uninstall the Instagram. That's the final thing I would like to say. TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is, and make sure to study. So yeah, that's all about today, and I hope you guys enjoyed this live and got some information. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel actually, because that's where you will be getting a lot of information. And make sure to download that extension. Okay, Unhook. That was an Unhook extension to be able to. I'm going to write that again. Okay, to be able to make you away, like make you far from all the distractions of YouTube. Okay, so yeah, thank you everyone for joining, and I will see you in our next video or in the next live.